Hi everybody, welcome along to this video. Mr. Johnson teaches Macbeth Act 4 Scene 2. If you've been following these videos all the way through, we're well into the play now. And remember, this scene follows the last one where Macbeth revisited the witches and they gave him predictions including beware Macduff, beware the Thane of Fife. Now this is a scene where Macbeth sends people to Macduff's castle, and he promised to give the edge of the sword to his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls, Macbeth said. Basically, he was going to kill anyone who stood in the castle, not that he had any reason to. So that's why the bloody handprint is on your screen there, because it really is a very bloodthirsty moment. A reminder, by the way, that Macbeth, of course, is part of your GCSE English literature. It is part of Paper 1, Section A. That is the first exam that you sit for your English, and therefore the first question that you do in your exam paper as well. So let's make sure you're ready for it and just go into this scene. It's not a huge scene. I'd be surprised if they chose it, but it's one of those scenes you don't want to ignore or forget. So in summary then, Ross, who's one of the other Thanes, Ross is visiting Lady Macduff in Fife. Once he leaves her, murderers arrive. They kill her and her children. Key characters here then, we've got Lady Macduff, Ross, Macduff's family, particularly her son, Macduff's son and Lady Macduff's son. He has a speaking part in this, and then there are murderers who turn up on the stage as well. So just to give you a key idea, the two on the left are the ones talking at first, and then it goes on when the murderers arrive. So let's go through this scene then, focusing on my arrows really, because those are the most important bits I've pulled out of the scene for you. The conversation going on at the top there between Lady Macduff and Ross, and just talking about why did he fly the land. He's talking about why did her husband run away, Lady Macduff's husband. The first arrow says she doesn't know why her husband has gone, and she worries that it makes them all look guilty because he has run away while Macbeth is in charge, and in some ways that sort of reflects badly on her, she believes, as well. The second arrow moving down, she appears quite angry as well, actually, towards her husband, understandably so. He seems to have just gone without giving her much of a clue as to why or where, and she's left there, and as it says on the arrow, unprotected there as well, which isn't great, and actually doesn't work out well for her very shortly. Ross talks to her as my dearest cuz, as in cousin, but that doesn't quite literally mean family relative cousin, but they used to use the word cousin as somebody who's very close to you, almost like family in that sense. Ross basically is implying there from the first arrow that desperate times call from desperate measures. The situation in Scotland is so bad under Macbeth that Macduff had to go and do something, so maybe it's right that he went and did these things and ran away. Ross talks near the very bottom of his big speech there about, he says, my pretty cousin, blessing upon you, talking to the son, Lady Macduff's son. Fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless, she says, because of course his father has run away to England. And then Ross basically says he takes his leave, which means I need to excuse myself, and off he goes. He goes, and then we're left with Lady Macduff and her son having this very long conversation. There's a lot of there's a lot of wordplay and jokes going on between them there, and silliness. It sort of builds up how close the son is to Lady Macduff, and it also builds up this really nice family unit that we're seeing. It's almost like a moment of calm between having witches and murderers and everything like this. It's almost like a gentle scene, and then of course what happens next isn't so gentle. A messenger comes in just before that, and I've put there, the messenger brings news that she is in danger, but the messenger can't stay for too long for fear of their own life being at risk. So the messenger is there and gives the warning and goes. And then Lady Macduff, where should I fly? Or why should I fly? I've done no harm, she says at the top there. And then these murderers come in. So Macbeth, I just wanted to point out with that, continues to send others to commit his evil acts. He isn't somebody who gets his own hands dirty anymore, to use that expression. He's got other people doing his dirty work. She says, just beneath that arrow, what are these faces? Like, who are you? She's asked where her husband is. Basically, she then replies, somewhere where hopefully you can't find him. Murderer says he's a traitor. The son then shouts out, Lady Macduff's son, thou liest, thou shag-haired villain, sort of taking the mickey out of his appearance. And then he's stabbed. Now this is Macduff's son, I put there, is stabbed and dies on stage. Now, he doesn't have an exact age to him, but whatever, this is a child, and to us, I think that's quite horrifying. To an Elizabethan, well, it's not Elizabethan, sorry, it would have been a Jacobean audience here, because it's King James. The Jacobean audience maybe wouldn't have been so shocked by this, but either way, it's a really violent act, and the son dies on stage, and then the final scene, final direction you've got at the bottom there after dies is exit Lady Macduff, crying murder, and the murderers following after her, implying that she is also going to die as well. Although we don't, according to the original script, we don't see that. So the key themes here, I mean, violence is the one I'd really focus on there. It's the point of this scene is it's the murder of an innocent family. So focus on that theme there. And my quick revision questions, just to check your understanding of this video then. You can pause these and have a go at them to check your own understanding. That would be a really good thing to do. But if you aren't sure, go back because all of those answers to those questions will be found inside this video. And that's where I'm going to end it. I don't need to talk much longer on a very brief scene, and sort of a scene which just sets up the violence. If you haven't done so, make sure you do check out my other videos on the channel. All of them are there for every single scene in the play, making sure you're as ready as you can be when it comes to your exams. And I wish you the very best of luck for those exams, and I'm going to say thank you and goodbye.